نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أما بعد. Honorable judges, dear teachers, parents, and fellow students, Assalamu alaikum. Today my speech topic is our responsibility towards the non-Muslim society in America and our obligations and duties towards fulfilling these obligations. The purpose of human creation, as mentioned in Surah Zariyat, verse 56, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We have not created the jinns and humans except to worship us. We know from this verse that the purpose of our creation is just to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow His commands. In order for us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to follow His commands, He sends messengers from time to time who invited all of humankind to the Tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah An-Nahl, verse 36, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٍ أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. And indeed, we have sent to every community a messenger who taught them to worship Allah and to reject the evil. Among the chains of prophets and messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the last. There will not be any messengers after him. Now it is our responsibility to convey the message of Islam to the entire humankind. In order for us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as commanded, we must be responsible for our society and we must fulfill our duties. The second part of this is it is our job to give da'wah, or to invite people to Islam. This is fard, obligatory or mandatory for every Muslim. Prophet ﷺ gave this responsibility to his ummah in his last sermon as follows. This sermon was delivered on the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, 10th year of Hijrah, in Mount Arafah. After praising and thanking Allah, the Prophet ﷺ began with the words, O people, lend me attentive ear, for I know not whether after this year I shall ever be amongst you again. Therefore, listen carefully to what I am saying and take these words to those who could not be present here today. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has no superiority over a white, except by piety and good actions. O people, no prophet or apostle will come after me, and no new faith will be born. Reason well, therefore, O people, and understand which words I convey to you. I leave behind you two things, the Quran and the Sunnah, and if you follow these, you will never go astray. And those who listen to me shall pass on my words to others, and those to others again. And may the last ones understand my words better than those who listen to me directly. Be my witness, O Allah, that I have conveyed your message to your people. Brothers and sisters, our deen Islam is a religion of peace and teaches us to be just with others. It has been narrated that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Jibreel kept on recommending me about treating the neighbors in a kind and polite manner, so much that I thought he would ask them to make them my hires. We need to leave the best image in the minds of a non-Muslim. We can do this by being kind to our neighbors and by being generous in handing out money to the poor people or organizations who will help the poor people. We also need to be honest, truthful, and trustworthy in our job so we can show them the best character of the Muslims. We need to control our anger and forgive others. We need to be role models in trustworthiness, truthfulness, and in education. We need to show them the best character in all walks of life. Brothers and sisters, let's take a look at the Prophet's example. Because of his trustworthiness, even the kuffar used to bring their amanat, belongings to him. This is the trustworthiness all Muslims should follow. There was a lady who used to throw garbage at the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Instead of being angry, he controlled his anger and forgave her. By following the example of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we must have open communication with other communities. Interfaith gathering must be encouraged so that other people of different faiths can understand Islam better. We need to volunteer our time to the organizations who are working to protect our community, like CARE and others. In the current economic disaster, when all the banks and financial institutions are failing, economists are wondering how the Islamic banks are doing great. Muslims need to step up and show the world how oppressive the system of riba is and how Islamic banking is the just and ultimate solution to this crisis. Now let's talk about da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah An-Nahl, verse 125, ادْعُ إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. Call the people to the path of your Lord with wisdom and inspiring speech. Reason them with superior and respectful manner. Certainly your Lord knows best who strays from this path and who is guided. From this verse we can understand that da'wah is mandatory for every Muslim. Our duty is just to inform and educate and not to guide. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide those who He wishes. It has been narrated that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, learn the required precepts of Islam command, then teach them to others, for I will not live forever. Transmitted by Bukhari. This hadith informs us that we are the followers of, and it is our duty to convey the message the Prophet ﷺ also did. So may Allah help us to be better Muslims in this non-Muslim society and help us to fulfill our obligations. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.